Hey YouTube, today I'm going to show you how I make wheat paste, which is an ingredient in clay, paint, and plaster. It's really easy to make with just flour and water, and it only takes about 10 or 15 minutes. And what it does is acts as a binding agent, so that if you're making things with clay, then when you rub the surface of the wall, it doesn't all dust off. It just helps it stick a little better. And it is a very gluey substance. It's similar to what's used in papier-mâché. So yeah, I'll show you how to do that. And then my next video is going to be how to do clay paint. Okay, so all you need is a bowl, a pot, a whisk, and something to measure with. And I'll give you the recipe in parts so that you can make as much as you need. First thing we're going to do is put 1 part flour, and for this, because it's going on the wall and not in my stomach, I just use the cheapest white flour that I can get. For this, I'm using 2 cups as 1 part. So 1 part flour goes in the bowl. And then for all the water, I'm using hot water from the tap. And I'm using so this is going to be 2 parts hot water in the bowl. And 1.5 parts hot water in the pot. So for the quantity I'm making, that makes 2 cups flour and 4 cups water in here, and 3 cups of water in here. And I'm going to turn this on high and bring it to a rolling boil. And then I'm just going to give this a good whisk while that's boiling. So I've started painting my room already, and I'm just using clay paint over top of a regular paint. I don't know what the last people used. It's probably just a latex paint. And I don't need to prime the wall or anything. I'm just making my clay paint. It's not very opaque, so I do need about 3 coats. And now I've done 2 of the walls and 2 coats on one of the walls. So have a bit more to do. And yeah, I'll show you how I make the clay paint in the next video when I get to that. So I just whisk this up. And then when the pot boils, I'm going to add this. And it forms the paste very quickly once everything is hot. Okay, now that the water is boiling, I'm going to pour in my flour mixture. Just dump it all right in there. And then keep stirring. You don't want it to burn at the bottom, and the heat is still on maximum. So that's definitely a risk. I'm going to stir constantly. I can hear it bubbling at the bottom. So this is going to thicken really quickly. It's already starting to get thick. So once it starts to bubble, then I'm going to take it off the heat. I think it's actually burning. I smell it a little bit. If it starts to burn, then you can actually still use it. You just want to scrape more lightly on the bottom so that you don't mix the burnt plaster or the burnt paste with the unburnt paste. But you want to make sure it's all thoroughly cooked. So it'll start to get shiny. You can see it's shiny and quite thick now. It leaves traces. Okay, I saw a bubble. So I'm going to shut the heat off and take it off the heat. And just keep stirring for a few more seconds after you take it off the heat. It's okay that there's some clumps. You can either strain it. It does tend to be a little bit clumpy anyway. So usually when I'm making paint, just to make sure it's nice and smooth, I will strain it or I'll put it in a blender or blend it with the immersion blender. So see how nice and glossy that is? And also it's very thick, you know, it leaves a pile when I drop it. So that's the consistency that you're looking for. It'll thicken up even more after you let it sit. And that's it. I'll be back soon with the clay paint video.